You are going nowhere. I don't mean this in a rude or offensive way, but I feel as though in my life, and maybe others can relate, I do things with no end goal. This can be opening the fridge. I don't have anything in mind to grab. I'm just looking. I'm just staring. Or, trying to go somewhere just for the sake of going. I mean, I didn't have a place in mind to go. I didn't need anything from anywhere. I'm just going there. Or, possibly going on a ride in my car. And I'm just driving. I'm just cruising. I'm driving down the street. There's nothing in mind. I'm not going anywhere specific. There's no destination. And I think this is an issue that we're ignoring in our society, in our lives. I mean, I think too many people do things just for the sake of doing something, not for the sake of getting something done, or, they might have other things that they need to have done, but they're just doing something that doesn't really matter to them or their end goals and life goals and dreams. I mean, this isn't always inherently wrong. We need time to just be doing nothing. Because boredom is good for us. It's good to be bored. It inspires creativity. That's great. But you should always have something in mind when you want to get things done. And too much of doing nothing is never good for you. I mean, you have to apply it in a more general sense. Because, obviously opening a fridge with no end goal in mind, it's not going to kill you. You're not going to die. You're not going to roll over. Nothing's going to happen to you that's going to be so tragic. Unless the fridge falls over. At the end of the day, nothing's going to happen to you opening the fridge and grabbing nothing and having nothing to grab. That's not really an issue. The issue in mind is that when you don't have a goal in your life, you will go nowhere. You'll stay stagnant, or you'll possibly roll backwards. If you stay with the current's not always going where you want it to go. The waves aren't always going in the direction where you want to be. That's why you have to sell, and you have to you have to sail the boat, and you have to decide where you want to be and where you want to go. Because when you pursue something and have an end goal in mind, even if you don't achieve your end goal, you're still going further than you would have if you just steered with no direction in mind. That's always the best mentality. You can poke holes in my argument. You could say, well, you talked about over planning in your last video and how it can be terrible for you. But balance is what really matters. There's always a balance to it. Sometimes you can sit down and do nothing, or you can do something for the sake of doing it. It fills that little empty space in your life. But that shouldn't be your everyday, day-to-day. You shouldn't be sitting there doing nothing all the time with no goal. Because going into something with no plan will lead to unexpected problems. Whether this be going on a vacation and you don't have an end goal. Like, you don't have these destinations you want to be at and things that you want to do. You're just going. And that's a waste of money. That's a terrible mentality to have. Or you're hopping around from job to job, and you don't have a goal. Your goal isn't to make money. Your goal isn't to work. You're just doing it because everybody else is doing it. You're going with the current, and it's not always the best for you. You have to set up an end goal to help you achieve your dreams, to help you do what you want to do or be where you want to be. Because the fear of failure is always more prominent when you don't have an end goal. It's going to lead you to be more likely to fail. Because end goals are like crutches for you, even when times are rough. When things aren't going your way, you have the end goal. Okay, maybe you're an athlete and you suffered some type of injury. It's probably not a lethal injury. Let's just assume it's just something that's a little setback. Your end goal always keeps you away from that. It always makes you think, well, this is a little setback in my big plan. If you had no direction and you were playing a sport just to play it, an injury would be like, okay, well, I can't play right now, so what's the point? Why should I continue? Why should I keep going? And that's something that you really have to think about. You always have to have an end goal no matter what you're doing. I sound like a broken disc, but this is really what you should take away from this video. I'm putting it on a platter and I'm serving it to you. You're maybe scrolling through TikTok right now, or you're clicking through YouTube. But in order to have direction in your life, you have to have some type of end goal. And I think that's something that we take for granted. I mean, I do that too. We all do that. No matter what you are, who you are, what you're doing, you have to have an end goal. And I hope that's what you take away from this. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. I love you. Take care.